This is how I stomped a 1900 player in a 5-minute blitz game. I start off with pawn to e4, and they go for the French defense, but they go for an unconventional approach with pawn to b6. I just develop like normal, bring out my knights, and we have bishop b4 pinning that knight. I go here to add some support to that pawn. Otherwise, there was a threat if bishop takes, and then that pawn would be loose. So I cover that pawn. They go knight here, adding some more pressure on that pawn. I defend it with queen e2. a6, preventing a piece from landing on b5. I go bishop d2 to break the pin, allowing the knight to move if needed. They go b5. It kind of seems like a waste of a move to me. So I play a3, kicking out that bishop. They move the bishop, and now I play pawn to h3, preventing a knight from landing on here. They go h6, stopping pieces from going on g5. And now I try to open things up with pawn to e5, hitting the knight. The knight backs up all the way to the starting square, and then I sink in my knight to e4. Bishop b6, castles, knight e7. And now c3, just solidifying my pawn chain. They go knight c6, and I bring in my bishop. I'm making like kind of slow, quiet moves, enjoying the beautiful center control I have. Look at this beautiful center control. I got so many pieces occupying and controlling the center. Black's pieces are awkward and cramped. They go knight a5, probably looking to sink in to b3. So I just play pawn to b4. If they do go over here, the knight is very close to being trapped after rook b1. The knight will have nowhere to go. So they move back here, which is kind of a waste of a move. It gives me an extra tempo. And now I open things up even more with pawn to d5, hitting that knight. They take, but this doesn't work because I take here, and now my pawn is on that bishop. They take, but this allows a battery to form between the queen and rook, pointing at this pawn on f7. Maybe there are lines where I can move my knight away and have this attack come to realization on that pawn. All at the same time, this pawn is attacking that bishop. They collect on that pawn, but this allows knight to g5, and now there is so much pressure on f7. They go here, but this allows a beautiful move. We take that pawn. If knight takes back, this here will be a checkmate. This is also a fork, so they really have to move their queen. But they don't. They counterattack. If my knight moves, the queen falls. But I find a brilliant move, knight to d6, giving up the knight, because if they take, queen takes rook is mate. So they move their king, and now queen h4, piling on the attack. They go g5 to block the check, but I collect this pawn, sacrificing my knight over here. After they took, we take the pawn with check, the king moves up, and then checkmate.